Tobin and Leroy here with you on a Monday. I'm 2 Cafe Bustellos in. I made my own cold brew today.
That's not good.
What do you mean, dude?
Oh,
It's gonna reset. It's gonna be like Bob. Reset, refocus into my own time zone.
All right.
You know, I may crash out by 2 p.m., but that's okay.
Dude, I can't do it. I'm just I'm at a place right now where it don't matter.
Don't matter.
Coffee ain't gonna do nothing for me.
Let us get to our headlines brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. The Miami Heat, they'll be back on the practice court today as they get ready for tomorrow's matchup against the Chicago Bulls. Haven't mentioned De'Aaron Fox. We mentioned De'Aaron Fox, but we haven't mentioned the trade. De'Aaron Fox has been traded to the San Antonio Spurs in a 3-team deal that ends with Zach LaVine in Sacramento with 3 first-round picks. And basically the Bulls were left with stuff, but they get off the LaVine contract, who, you know, is now reunited with DeMar DeRozan. So they're basically the Chicago Bulls. The Sacramento Kings are now last year's Chicago Bulls with Sabonis. So we'll see what works out. I mean, LaVine's been having a nice season.
He's just been healthy, right?
Been healthy. Yeah, been
Right.
healthy and is having a nice season. I don't know what that does in the West, but I mean, it's you're gonna have still that point production of whatever you lose from Fox, and then Fox goes and teams up with Wemby. Understand that a lot of Heat fans are pissed because of this, but look, they don't have any picks. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if the Heat wanted to get in that game for De'Aaron Fox, you would have had to call up and been like, you guys want Khalil Ware? You guys want Nico? You know, like, and are the Heat really at a place where they want to make that trade? I don't think so.
I don't think I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't either.
And that's 100. I think I get the fact that they want to win, and I get the fact they want to compete, but I think it's time now for the Heat to try to grab a new core,
Agreed.
build around that new core,
Mm-hmm.
and go that route instead of trying to add a superstar or whatever.
Which is a core by the way, I'm having a lot of fun watching. I really am. Like, I'm watching these tall guys, that tall lineup closing, and like that to me is the most interesting Heat regular season lineup in a long time. It's fun.
And then any player that's added should complement those guys.
Agreed.
No matter how great they are. So that's kind of where I would hope they go, because, you know, we need a nice little stretch with, you know, we've been for the last few years been 2 or 3 stars and others.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got a core that goes deep, and the guys that you've you know trained, that you've drafted or you've brought in, a lot of young guys. So I want to see where it goes.
We'll get to the Jimmy stuff in a second because there was a report yesterday, but I do have some pretty big breaking news here, Leroy. A statement has been put out. I don't know if I can break this news to Leroy. He's going to be sad.
It's rough.
I know. I already saw it.
Myles Garrett
Yeah.
has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. What the hell is happening right now in sports? What is happening right now in sports?
In fairness to him, like, even if you're a Cleveland Brown and you're a diehard Cleveland Brown and you want to ride it till the doors come off, what he's been doing for that team, for it not to matter at all because of what you're doing on the other side of the ball, I can't be mad at him if it wears on him, right? It's never been that bad offensively. That's an all new low of where they are offensively. So
how does he feel about South Florida?
Hey,
how does he feel about South Florida? Hey, listen, Chris Greer, all I'm telling you, hey, this is just me, dude, okay? But Chris, Your reputation ain't too good right now. But I know what your big move is. Okay, I know what you're good at. You're good at getting stars. To distract. You're good at getting stars to distract my heartache.
Oh, yeah.
So all I'm saying is, dude, maybe give him a ring-a-ding-ding. See what we can do to perhaps get old Myles Garrett down here.
Would you
Just
give up
saying.
your first pick?
Would you give up a first-round pick, or would you give up 13 for Myles Garrett?
I mean, it's better than anything you're
No.
getting at 13. No.
And here's why.
Does he ever miss games?
No, but here's why.
Okay.
It's not whether he could help you. Okay. You can't invest that much money at one position.
Cheated at Cleveland? That's good.
Oh.
You think they'll take that?
That's why.
Swappy swap.
Go on.
Cheated
They need a
at
receiver.
Cleveland.
They're about to draft a quarterback.
Hey,
Hmm?
you think his numbers were down here?
Oh, okay.
As Cleveland, they ain't got no quarterback.
Well, yet, you never know. You never know who they're
You
gonna.
mean, yeah, we would never go. No, what? So you gonna spend $100 million at quarterback?
No, I mean you get a nice little cheap rookie option. You can get
Why?
get
Wait,
yourself a
can
Cameron
I
Ward.
ask you a question, Marcos?
Yeah.
Why do you think if you need a quarterback, you can just go get one in the draft and it's gonna work out?
No, you can't just get one, but you can just get Cam Ward though.
Cam Ward, though.
That's the only one.
Oh.
That's the guy.
Well, I mean, what if he falls? If he falls to you, number 2.
Yeah. Come on. You know Tennessee likes Travis.
Again, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't mind if they did it.
You know, a lot of people are
But
watching.
I would say this: if you don't have the infrastructure around him, you are doing him a disservice, and you can't move forward.
Myles Garrett, huh? Wow. Man, that's a
So
lot of
So you think?
sacks.
So they're
Next
saying right now.
player.
They're saying right now, Travis Hunter's gonna be number one.
No. I think most mocks still have Cam number 1.
Yeah.
I saw some buzz that Jackson Dart played his way into the first round with the Senior Bowl this week.
Okay.
But no, I've seen
You have a quarterback, and you got to now starting a quarterback.
somebody in that top 3 is going to take Cam Ward. And I'll tell you another thing: a lot of people see Cam and Shador are friends, and they work out together.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying like, we see both of them together. Pretty clear which one's got a little bit more to them.
Not sure if they're friends. Like they're friends.
They're friends. What do you
No.
mean you're not sure that they're friends?
Hey.
Very aggressive.
Wait. Marcos.
Yeah.
The videos you've seen, you only talk to your friends like that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
they
Like,
bust
very-
chops.
they must, like, well, that's all they do. That really is all. I've never seen them say anything nice to each other.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yeah,
Cameron-
that means they're good friends.
they're very close friends.
But I might want to stay away from my friend if he was making him look bad.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, that's I'm not mad at him. Like, you can't fault that guy for lack of effort.
Mhm.
You can't fault that guy for not giving everything he's got.
Myles Garrett, you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but
This is just like, you know what? He is trying to get the last good years. Like Joe Thomas stuck it out and it
Right.
never worked out for him,
right.
you know? And Myles Garrett has done everything for that franchise. Dude, like, yeah, of course request a trade.
It's pretty amazing with all the quarterbacks that have gone through there since he's been there. And all the players that you've brought in to try to be the franchise guy, that he has probably been the franchise guy, the guy that you associate with that team no matter what.
I'm going to tell you something right now, though.
He is scary.
If this dude ends up on the Chiefs, I'm going to lose my mind.
Could you imagine Chris Jones and Myles Garrett on the same team?
If he ends up on the Chiefs, I'm going to lose my mind. Especially after a three-peat. I what?
You can't, like, I don't. How do you block?
Well,
Chris Jones?
you know how you could pull that off?
Hmm?
They have a boatload of young talent. So they're not up. They don't have the contracts yet,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati don't have a defense, and they got to pay 2 offensive guys.
They're not going to trade him to Cincinnati, though, right? Like, that's a thing. You're not going to trade him in division.
Um,
I feel like that's like
I think those days have gone. Because if you get a big enough package, you think that with those picks, I can
fair.
win. And so I don't think people
Well,
care.
dude, but I
Because
know how that.
wait, it didn't work for the Giants, whose owner, who might not know much about rosters and stuff, his exact words, I would hate him. I would hate him to go to Philly.
Man, that's something.
Somebody, I mean,
Somebody
as
says
Vlad
Myles
would
Garrett.
say, streets need a body on that one, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Somebody says Myles Garrett to the Jets. I wouldn't wish that on him.
No, that's gonna be wasted.
But I don't think they would do it either because they're in a position where they're gonna have to spend money on a quarterback and they just traded and they don't have a lot of assets.
No, he would obviously, like, if he wants to leave Cleveland, he obviously wants to go to what he deems at least a contender or somebody that's a better situation than Deshaun Watson on a torn Achilles and a rookie QB.
That's, I mean, not for nothing.
Ooh.
The one consistent guy in that organization with all the chaos going on the other side of the ball. I'm usually one of those guys, and that I can't be mad at him.
Do you Shmee, that makes a good point. Do you want to check on Jay Crawford? Is he okay?
No, they just won a national championship.
Okay, but you know him. I mean, like, what is this, like the only? How many people does he love? I mean, probably LeBron, Jim Tomey, and Myles Garrett. Like, you might want to check on him.
Yeah, me, I'm a big Myles Garrett fan too. First of all, like I felt small, in a huddle and with the offensive linemen are just gargantuan. Hell, when I was in college, my offensive line averaged 320. So
Well,
I've been around some big dudes, not big and swole.
I will say there, Mike McDaniel has said, like, the number one position that he likes to draft and go after is pass rush, right?
Well, there's a rule of thumb. Here's what they say. The most important people on your field besides the quarterback are the ones that protect him and the ones that rush him.
Mm-hmm.
If you can be good at those two things, you don't have to be as good in the secondary. And you don't have to be as good at running back. But it's starting to, because football's so cyclical, you best believe there's going to be some people that feel like they need to develop a running game. And don't be surprised if all the offensive linemen and running backs and, guys that possess those skills that we're seeing have success don't move up a little bit because they see what is winning football games. You got an offensive and defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You can play football with anybody.
It definitely travels, right? Like, that's,
but
I will say this on the Dolphins front, because again, I would understand why Myles Garrett would look at the Dolphins a little skeptical and be like, great place to live if he wants to get the hell out of the cold.
Right.
But I will say this Mike McDaniel, you saw him this year, Marcos, very flirtatious with Max Crosby. And then you had Nick Bosa, who's like, oh, Florida. So it seemed to me like the feelers were out there to go get themselves a new frontline pass rush guy. So I would just say, and we know this, Chris Greer, like his number one move is, what can I do to go get a star?
Here's
So
the problem, though. The problem is that it's a salary cap sport.
Understood.
And you can't invest that much money at one position when you have the offensive line that you have, and you're not quite sure what Calais Campbell's going to do, right? So let's put it this way. Those Russians are going to come back, and you have some youth. You don't know what Calais Campbell's status is. and you definitely have an idea about your offensive line. Those are going to be the main ingredients to success.
But if you were to like, I'm not really as good with the NFL trades, but let's say you traded Chubb. You traded Chubb and pick and a first round pick. No, he's not hurt anymore. He's not hurt anymore though.
Really?
He's not hurt anymore.
Says who?
He said he was going to be back next year.
Yeah, but listen, saying you're going to be back 8 months from now.
He was off the he opened up his window. They basically just shelved him because they're like, what's the point of bringing him back?
That doesn't mean he was healthy because his window opened.
I don't know, dude. Just like I'm saying, like if you're
you are when it comes to injuries, you are oblivious to the reality versus what you're reading on TV.
I don't think so. Jalen Phillips, by the way, already pushing a weighted sled. Beating science.
That dude twice. Yep. He's come back from 2 injuries in the time that it's taken Chubb to recover from one.
That's true.
He's a science beater.
So did Tua, but we have a whole different opinion of that.
Well, I'd like him to stop throwing his head into people.
No, that he's injury prone.
He is injury prone.
He is injury prone.
He was injured at the end of the season again.
What about Jalen Phillips?
Well, in fairness to Tua, Tua is not a science beater. If anything, he seems like a science denier.
He has lost to science so many times.
So many times, dude.
So many times.
And then they're even like, Tua's like, I'm fine. And they're like, 4 more weeks, buddy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you think you're fine, dude.
All right. I give.
I know you don't like doing the star thing with the Dolphins.
No, it's
you'll do this literally with any player that I bring up.
I would love Myles Garrett on this team. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that you can't invest that much money at one position when your needs are on the other side of the ball.
But it's one of the most elite. But they made that mistake with wide receiver, right? Like, let's say they move on from Cheetah, which is possible.
It's possible.
You know, if you find some methods there, I don't know if it's a Cleveland.
Okay, even if you could do it, you still have to address the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Like having Myles Garrett would be great, but having Myles Garrett in the same offensive line doesn't make your team better.
But they're not going to spend $100 million on a guard like they have.
No, I know. I understand that. But still, you still have to kind of look at what you need versus that right there is like icing on the cake.
Agreed.
You haven't made the cake yet.
We'll take a break. Back with more to this.